Think of IVF kind of like training for a marathon. You can wing it, but it is not going to be pretty. Let's talk about how you can prep for your next IVF cycle to maximize your outcomes and maintain your sanity. Hey, I'm Whitney, fertility dietitian and coach, and I help busy women get out of the Google spiral and get pregnant. I've helped hundreds of women figure out their fertility so they can finally grow the family of their dreams. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 IVF prep tips that I do not want you to skip out on in your next cycle. As always, this video is meant to be for educational purposes only and not meant to be a replacement for medical advice. The IVF process here in the US is an enormous physical, mental, emotional, and financial investment for most couples. So you would think, with research showing that diet and lifestyle prep can increase your chances of success by 40%, that doctors would be shouting this from the rooftops and be running couples through prep programs right, left, and center. But unfortunately, that is not reality. Doctors are specialists in prescriptions, surgery, diagnostics, the holistic side of things, diet, lifestyle, long-term habits, chronic stress. It really isn't in their wheelhouse. So if your doctor has not brought this up, don't be all that surprised, but you are also in luck because that is what I do. That's my whole job. And so today I'm going to be sharing the 3 tips I want you to get started with ASAP. Number 1, give yourself some time. Believe me, I know how annoying it is to hear that. If you've reached the IVF process, chances are you've been trying to conceive for quite some time and you are ready to grow your family. You were ready last year. And so for me to say, be patient, give yourself some time, it feels really, for lack of a better word, crappy. Let me share a little bit of the science with you. When we're looking at hormone development, female hormone development in particular, because I specialize in female fertility, I work with males, but not as a primary. And so when we're looking at female hormone and follicle development, it takes about 90 days for female follicles to develop in the ovary, which means that if you really want to improve your egg quality, sex hormone production, reduce inflammation, any of that stuff, it is going to take about 90 days for that to work. It is not a fast process, which, like I said, very, very annoying, but this is the reality. And so if you want to optimize egg quality, especially if you're over the age of 35 or you've had egg quality issues in the past, you are gonna wanna give yourself that 3 months of prep time ahead of time in order to make that change actually matter. If you are done with the waiting game to grow your own family, I want you to know that you are in good company. My client Brittany was in the exact same position as you. Before she did her first IVF cycle, she and her husband had already been trying for 3 years on their own. And when their first IVF cycle failed, she was absolutely devastated. She wanted to take a break and figure some things out first to give herself the best chance of success the second round, because IVF was a big investment for them. It was not a covered benefit, and so she was paying out of pocket for all of this. In between her first and second cycle, she took a 4-month break and did my Fertile Fuck program. She worked on egg quality. She worked on boosting her AMH numbers. She worked on reducing inflammation, and the difference between her first cycle and second cycle were night and day. I'm happy to share that her second cycle was a wild success, and she just messaged me the other day letting me know she passed her gestational diabetes screen as well, and everything is looking perfect. I'd love to know in the comments, have you felt pressured to move into an IVF cycle fast, or have you felt like you had enough time to prepare? Let me know and let's talk about it. The second thing I want you to do while you're taking this break and giving yourself some prep time is to work out as many health kinks as possible. Yes, the drugs that they're gonna give you when you do IVF are gonna be pretty heavy hitters. They're gonna force ovulation, amplify your ovulation so that you can get as many follicles as possible. Even though those drugs are very powerful, your body is still more powerful. We are relying on your body to function optimally. So if we can address any health hiccups, any kind of barriers that are getting in the way, it will only improve how your body responds to those medications, improve egg quality, sex hormone production, all of that. Some of the most common areas that I help clients work on before they go through IVF are systemic inflammation or chronic inflammation, thyroid disease, and gut health. If you want to take a look at the tests that I recommend before trying to conceive or before IVF, take a look at this video here where I talk about specific lab tests that I recommend. And the IVF prep tip number 3, I think this one's going to surprise you, especially as I'm a registered dietitian, but I need to let you know the 2-week weight diet is really not going to make that much of a difference. When we look at female follicle development, sperm health, all of these things, the process of development starts long before your actual retrieval. So if you want to make a difference in inflammation, uterine lining, egg quality, sperm quality, all that stuff, Eating well during the 2-week wait, while it's not going to hurt, it's really not going to make that much difference. If you really want to utilize nutrition to help improve egg quality, to help improve IVF outcomes, sperm health, all of that, I want you to start months in advance, at least 30 days to give yourself a good head start. But if you really want to make a big impact, the 3 months leading up to your cycle are really where it's at. Does this mean you go ham at Golden Corral or binge on White Castle sliders after your transfer? No, of course not. You know I'm not going to be recommending that. I want you to be implementing healthy, nutritious, antioxidant rich, anti-inflammatory foods all the time, not just isolating it in that 2-week wait. And if you want to know my real thoughts on foods to avoid, check out this video I did earlier on specific nutrition guidelines that I follow for fertility. To recap what I talked about today, make sure to give yourself some time before you jump into your IVF cycle. And while you've got that time, this is a perfect opportunity to check out any health kinks that could get in the way of your success and nourish your body the entire time that you're prepping, and not just in that 2-week wait. While we can't guarantee outcomes, we can stack the odds in your favor by implementing kind of the best of both worlds. You get some of the benefits of the holistic side of things and benefits of the conventional side of things. It doesn't have to be an either or. You can be right in the middle. If you're ready to get started with your own fertility quick start plan, head to the links below and take the Find Your Fertile Path quiz. That's all we have for our video today. If you are a fellow food and fertility nerd, hit that subscribe button and comment below so we can talk further.